Okay, hey guys, what's going on? And welcome back to my channel. My name is Hope if you're new, and I'm really excited that you're joining me today. If you are watching today's video, you are probably trying to decide between a pocket-sized planner and a personal one. I thought it would be really fun and useful to do kind of like a side-by-side comparison of them. That way, if you're on the fence about either one, this will hopefully give you guys a little bit more detail on them. I first started using my pocket planner last July, and then I only started using my personal one this January. But I've had a few months to explore my personal planner, and so I do feel like I've got a pretty good understanding of what it's like, and that goes for my pocket as well. So if you're watching this and you're trying to decide what size of a planner is going to work best for you, then I'm going to be giving you examples, pros, cons, and basically just telling you about how I've been using each of these planners. Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. So first of all, both of my planners are from the brand Filofax. It's definitely not the only rings planner brand that you can get. It's just personally one of my favorites. The first planner I ever got was this pocket one. This is the Filofax Pocket Cross. Unfortunately, this model was discontinued due to just some cracking along the spine. I don't know if you guys can kind of see it. Luckily for me, it hasn't been bad enough for me to stop using it, but just a little quick note there in case you guys are looking for this exact model. Here is what she looks like inside. I have some card slots here. It has a pocket here and then another pocket in the back. It also has a little zipper pocket here and then a little pen loop. Of course, all pocket planners are going to look a little bit different, so I definitely would look into that just to see if you have a preference towards zippers or pockets or anything like that. But that is the setup of mine. And then this is the Filofax Personal Holborn. This is technically the dark brown color, but to me it really looks closer to black. I think it might look a little bit more brown in direct lighting, but this model is still available on the Filofax website. I'm going to have it linked down below in case you're curious. It has a little pocket here for cash. It has some card slots and then another pocket in the front there. And then in the back, you also have a pocket there and also one here. I almost forgot, but in this back pocket, there's also a zipper. And so if you wanted to store stickers, coins, or anything like that, you do have a zippered pouch in this planner as well. Sizing wise, they do have a few differences. The first one is going to be the positioning and the size of the rings. This is a 6-ring binder and this one is as well, except you can kind of notice how there is a difference in the spacing. These are all equidistant, and then there is a larger gap in the personal size. I honestly haven't found one to be preferred over the other. I find that the rings kind of in any binder tend to work the same for me. But in terms of sizing, I thought I would just stick my pocket planner on top of my personal one so you can get an idea of the size difference. I will put all of the exact sizing and dimensions on the screen. That way you guys can reference it, and it's also going to be down below in the description in case you want to like put a ruler out in front of you and see how big they are. But in terms of sizing, if I were to line up my pocket planner with the bottom left corner of my personal, you can kind of see that there's a good inch or two on either end. It is quite a bit bigger. For me personally, it feels a lot taller than it is wide. Like if I were to take this out and put it in my personal, just so you can kind of see what that would look like, it's not crazy much like thicker, but rather it's a lot taller. And so I feel like that's probably the biggest difference in my opinion. You also obviously have more room in the pocket section, so I have quite a few more different little card slots there. And then you are able to fit an entire dollar bill in any of these like longer pockets. That's something that I'm not able to do in my pocket size planner. I usually have to fold my bills in half, but if you do have a personal size one, it does just kind of slide right in. The other thing I wanted to make note of when it comes to sizing is the ring size. So obviously in a pocket size planner, you're not going to have as much room for as many pages. I'm definitely able to fit a lot more in my personal planner than I am in my pockets. And so in terms of which planner is going to hold more, it's definitely going to go to the personal planner. So if you're looking for something that's going to be using a lot of detail, you write a lot of stuff down, you want to have a bunch of pictures and stickers stickers and all sorts of things. You're definitely gonna have more room in a personal size planner, but then you also miss out on how portable the pocket one is, and we're gonna be going more into the whole pros and cons of each here in a little bit. But that's the general size comparison. Again, I'm gonna put all of the exact dimensions both on the screen as well as below in the description. But now that you guys have a good idea of what they look like next to each other, let's go ahead and dive into the pros and cons of each. Let's talk about why I love my pocket planner. If you're not new to my channel, you've probably seen all my other videos basically where I just rave about my pocket planner. I am obsessed with this thing. It goes everywhere with me. I always put it in my purse, in my bag, pretty much anywhere I'm going. This is going to be in my pocket per se. I use it as a wallet. I use it as a habit tracker. I use it for my notes. I use it for my, weekly calendar. Honestly, everything. I am coming up on my 1-year anniversary of using this, and I have very, very few regrets about this thing. Talking about the pros, I would say that my number one pro is going to be how portable it is. It can fit in small bags. It can fit in some of my coat pockets. It's really, really easy to just bring around with you. And so if you're somebody who wants that aspect of a planner where you're able just to kind of throw it in your bag and bring it with you everywhere, the pocket size is so good for that, just because you never have to worry about it not fitting in a bag or maybe taking up too much space. Everything you need fits inside of this really cute little planner, and I just absolutely love it. And because it is so portable, I find that I use it a lot for on-the-go tracking, which is going to be another pro for the pocket planner. I've done quite a bit of rearranging and redesigning in my pocket planner, but right now I'm currently using my second division as basically like my notebook while I'm out and about. And so if somebody recommends me a book, I can write it down here. If I want to remember to pick up something from the grocery store later, I write it down in here. Any little lists, any phone numbers, emails, anything like that I would typically write in my phone, I just write in my planner. I made a video a while ago. I'll link it in the cards in case you guys want to watch it later, but it's basically about how I ditched my phone for my pocket planner. I used to use my phone a lot more for the notes app in there, and I found that the more I would make notes in my phone, the more I would kind of get lost in scrolling and I would get distracted. Because a physical planner doesn't have any distractions in it, I find it to be a much better option for me when I'm looking to write things down pretty quickly. My pens don't always fit in these loops, and so what I typically do is I just slide a pen down the center, and then anytime I'm on the go and I need to make a little jot down or something, I can just open this up and I'm done. So that's obviously a huge advantage for me. The third pro I wanted to mention is I found that the pocket size planner is way less intimidating than the bigger planners. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this, but sometimes when I'm faced with a really large page, I kind of have this urge to just fill it up. And when it's empty, I don't always like it. I feel like I'm constantly looking for more stuff to put in instead of just being happy with what I have. So I found the pocket planner to be a really good entry into using a rings planner in general. I was able to take a lot of little things that I had laying around and really customize it. Like even stuff like this. This was just a cutout of a magazine. I've got a little tea bag in here, a note for my grandma, a vinyl sticker. I find that the pocket size is also perfect for sticky notes. I feel like sometimes in other planners, you can kind of lose track of your sticky notes, but because the pocket planner page is like almost the exact same size, I just find it to be really, really nice. I think that the pocket planner was perfect for me because it wasn't so intimidating, if that makes sense. It felt like it was really easy for me to customize something that's a lot smaller. It feels like it takes me less time to upkeep it, less time to go through it. It's really easy for me to access, and I think that that's something I didn't have when I was working in like a bigger journal. Here's what I would use for example. This page size is just so much bigger, and so I don't know, I just kind of would say it's less intimidating if you're getting into planning for the first time. The next pro that I wanted to mention is that it is extremely lightweight. You don't have a lot of extra stuff going on in here because you're working with such a minimal space, and so I find that I'm really just more efficient with how I track everything. Instead of adding a bunch of extra fluff and random things, I'm pretty straightforward in this planner, and that's been a really, really good thing for me. That kind of leads me into the next pro, which is that it really does encourage simplicity. If you're somebody who tends to overthink, overwrite, and you don't always want to spend your time doing that, then having a pocket planner was really good for me because I'm kind of forced to be very selective about what I write down, which in turn has really made me a more efficient person with my time, which has been super super valuable. I wanted to end off the pro section with a quick explanation of what I use my pocket planner for. So I use my pocket planner for my monthly and weekly planning. That can all be found in section number 1. Like I mentioned, section number 2 is for quick notes. And then finally, section number 3 has all of my trackers. So I've got my habit tracker, daily gratitude, one line a day, song of the day. The list goes on and on, but that is pretty much what I use this planner for. Obviously, you can use it for whatever you want, but I thought I would just give you guys a quick little example of how you might want to use one yourself. Now let's get into the pocket size cons. So obviously, the first con is definitely going to be you do have a limited amount of space. This can be a good thing to some people and a bad thing to others. I have chosen to look at it as it makes me more efficient and I'm more selective about what I write down. But if you are somebody who wants to write down everything, then I don't know if a pocket size is going to be best for you. You might be able to use a pocket size to supplement a bigger planner or a bigger journal, but definitely if you write a lot and you have a large handwriting, this is not going to be the size for you, which leads us into the second con, which is that it's not really ideal for full schedules or detailed planning. If you notice, I said I really only do my monthly and my weekly spreads in here. That's really because using a 12-hour calendar, like one of those daily spreads, it can get really crammed in here, and I think I tried it out for a few months, but I just was never able to make it work exactly how I wanted it. So you definitely do have to keep that in mind if you're looking at a pocket size planner. You don't have a ton of space, which means you don't always get to incorporate as much detail as maybe you might like to. I don't know how big of a con this is, but I did want to just briefly mention it just in case. But using a pocket planner does limit the size of stickers you're able to use. If you go to Hobby Lobby or Michael's or Amazon or anything, a lot of the stickers you might find are definitely made for larger planners, and so I've had to be very selective about what stickers I get. Just because you are working with a smaller space, there are stickers that fit in this size of a planner, as you can clearly see, but I do think sometimes it is a little bit harder to find them. So just a quick little note on that. And speaking of hard to find, the final con is that there aren't as many inserts available for a pocket size planner. I've actually just had to make a lot of my own and then just print and cut them out at home, because a lot of planner sizes or like planner inserts will be made to fit into your personal and your A5. So the pocket planners don't always make the cuts. I think that this is a really easy con to overcome if you're willing to put in the time. This was a template I found on Canva. I just kind of made some tweaks to it so that way it fits my schedule. But this is my cleaning checklist. I just sized it down in Microsoft Word and then printed it as a normal PDF. Same thing goes for my daily habit tracker. This was a template that I found on Canva that I just edited to make it a little bit more my own. And I just kind of printed them out for every month. I think that if you're willing to print out templates, then you don't have to worry about not being able to find ones that are suitable for a pocket planner. But if you're looking to be able to just buy everything for your planner, then I don't know if a pocket planner is going to give you absolutely everything you might want. There are a good amount of inserts, like I have this one for my daily gratitude list. This one is the yearly view one from the Filofax website. I think I have pretty much everything that I use in here linked down below, but I have that one, and then I also have my mood tracker. So you do have some options. There's definitely not nothing out there, but in comparison to a personal or an A5, you definitely have less, if that makes sense. Okay, I think that is going to do it for the pocket size. Let's go ahead and chat about the personal. Kicking things off with probably the most obvious pro, it's just going to be that you have more space. You have more space in this thing to do anything you want. You can journal, you can doodle, you can draw, you can decorate it with bigger things. Like I have a couple of postcards in here and also larger paint swatches, stuff that I wouldn't be able to put in my pocket planner. Let me see if I can show you guys the postcard. There's one, and then my second one I think is in the back. Never mind, it's in the front. So I have one here. This was another kind of postcardy item. You have a lot more flexibility in terms of what you can fit inside, and I would say that that is probably one of the biggest pros. Another pro is that it does very easily fit full daily and weekly spreads. If you're somebody who likes to track their day hour by hour, so you want to know what you're doing at 8 a.m., at 8:30, at 9, and you want to be able to write all of that down, then the personal size planner is definitely going to be more up your alley. You're really just able to include more information, and so that is a a massive, massive pro. Kind of going off of that, the next pro is going to be that it's really great for time blocking. I actually took them out of here because I was doing like a little archive, but I'll put a picture on the screen of how I was doing my time blocking in this personal planner. I kept this open on my desk while I was working throughout the day, and I would do like a little highlighter over the hours as time went on throughout the day. It honestly really helped me just kind of stay on track with what I was working on, and so it just kind of gives you more flexibility in terms of tracking your hourly to-do list. The next pro is that it is still portable. If you look at the size difference in terms of just me casually holding it, it's not that much bigger than the Pocket. Obviously it's bigger, but it's not bigger to the point where it's no longer portable. Here's that other journal for reference. It's actually smaller than my journals that I use just for writing and bullet journaling and stuff. So it's not huge. It's not like it's a 8.5 or anything like that, and so you do still have that portable aspect. But since it is bigger than the Pocket, you do get so much more room. Like even on the front here, being able to use all of these card slots in comparison to like only 2 or 3 or 4 is a huge advantage. Even if you're not using this as your everyday wallet, you're still able to fit way more decorations in here. You could store sticky notes in here, sticky tabs. I love putting a bunch of jewelry in my planner, but I mean, you could even fit like some washi tape in here. That fits no problem, and I'd be able just to kind of fold it up and be on my way. That is honestly one of the biggest pros to the personal size, in my opinion, is that because it's still portable, but it is a little bit bigger, you're able to bring a lot of supplies with you. Another little example is I have this little chapstick here, and if I wanted to put this in my pocket planner, there's no way it would fit. But in my personal, I could definitely get away with it. Like that would still close and I could bring it with me. To me personally, that was really nice just because, like I said, I was bringing a lot of my supplies out with me. And it's just really nice knowing that you have this extra space should you need it. Even if you were to look at the pages, like let me show you guys my monthly spread, and I'll show you it in here as well so you can get a size difference. You get a lot more space, and so I feel like I tend to be a little bit more free with what I write. My writing can be a little bit bigger. I also really tend to write neater in my personal just because I'm not like really focusing on writing small. So obviously there's an advantage to having that extra space. It really just comes down to what do you prioritize when it comes to your planning system. The final pro that I want to mention for the personal size is you have a ton of options when it comes to inserts and pages and accessories. If you were to look up a personal planner on any site, you will find so many different inserts. People are honestly so creative, and so there's a bunch of really, really cool and cute ones that you can try out. There's also a bunch of cool little additions, like I have this little insert thing that you can really easily put things in and pull things out of. I'm pretty sure it's one of the most popular sizes, and so it totally makes sense that there's going to be the most available to purchase in this size. I think that that is a huge pro if you're somebody who wants to be able to get a planner and then buy everything that you want to put inside. If you don't have a printer at home, or if you don't have the time or the energy to make your own like templates or your own spreads, then sometimes the ability to buy everything that you might need really does come in handy. So I would say that that's definitely a pro of the personal size. To kind of give you an example of how I use this one is used for my brain dumps and my to-do lists. I really enjoy brain dumping in this planner because I have a lot more space, and so I usually need to dump quite a bit off my mind, and sometimes I can't fit everything in my pocket, and so this is nice for just kind of a little debrief, a little brain dump. And then I also use this one as my diary. I got a typewriter a few weeks ago, and I have been typing up my diary entries at the end of the day. I'm gonna cover a little part of it because obviously it's my personal diary, but I have been loving using my Filofax Personal to hold all of my diary pages. The reason why this has worked so well for me is because I wanted to be able to type my diary on my typewriter, but obviously I can only put one page into the typewriter at a time, and so I was trying to come come up with a way for me to essentially consolidate all the pages that I write. Originally, I was thinking I should just put them in a box and then it'll be like my diary box. But then it dawned on me that I'd actually be able to hole punch all of my diary entries and just put them into my personal planner. So that's what I've been doing. I've been doing about a page a day and I only just started. So it's been kind of new to me, but really, really fun. Okay, we've got to talk about the cons. Con number one is that it is heavier and a little bit bulkier than the Pocket Planner. Obviously, with more space included, it means that you are dealing with a bigger size planner. And so if you're looking for something that's really compact, then this isn't the smallest you could go. And that leads us into the second con, which is that sometimes it can feel like too much. When I was decorating my personal planner, it was almost kind of difficult to find things to fill it. That was definitely not a problem I had with my Pocket Planner. It was really easy for me to kind of collect things and make it look just really eclectic. And that's personally a style that really resonates with me. And so I have had a harder time kind of using my personal planner because I find that I'm not always able to fill it in the way I want, if that makes sense. So I feel like I actually haven't used it as often as I might have if I felt like I was able to characterize it a little bit more. The next con is that it is a little bit harder to take around with you because it is that tad bit larger. It actually doesn't always fit in all of my purses, and that was a really big bummer for me. I really enjoy large bags, but on the occasion I want something that's a little bit smaller. This one is never able to come with me, which is why I've resorted to using it as like a home for all of my diary pages. That way I'm still able to use it, but I don't have to bring it everywhere with me, because even though, like I was saying, it's not that much bigger than the Pocket Planner, it sometimes feels a lot bigger when you're trying to fit it along with everything else you want to carry in your purse with you, all into one bag. And so for that reason, I usually reach for my Pocket Planner a lot more often because I'm able to just know it's going to fit with me. Whereas this one can be a little bit difficult sometimes. We are going to end off today's video by talking about who each one of these might be for. If you're looking for minimal, lightweight, and portable planning, then the Pocket Planner is going to be the one for you. I think it's a really awesome one for students, busy parents, those who really enjoy jotting things down on the go. I also think it is an incredible option for anyone looking to turn their planner into their wallet. I've been using this and it perfectly fits my driver's license, a few credit cards, and some cash and coins, and that's pretty much all I ever need to put in here. And if you're looking for something more structured, if you're looking for more room to write down your goals, your ideas, your plans, then maybe the personal planner is going to be the right one for you. If you really love to decorate and you feel like you need a lot more space when it comes to writing things down, you really like to get into like the nitty-gritty of your ideas and your projects, you just find that you need more space, this is going to be the one for you. Honestly, you guys, at the end of the day, I really don't think you could go wrong with either of them. I absolutely love both of them. There really is no one size fits all when it comes to planning, which is why you see both right in front of me. I think they're both really awesome for different reasons, and honestly, at the end of the day, it's really about what you think will fit best with what you need. A little quick tip from me to you: if you are on the fence and you're really on the fence, like you really don't know which is going to be right for you, I would recommend go to my description, see what the dimensions are, and then cut a piece of paper to the dimensions of both. So you should have a paper that would fit inside of the Pocket Planner and the personal right in front of you. Use both of those papers throughout the day and see which one feels like it would be a good fit for you. Like for example, if you end the day and you find that you have a bunch of blank space on your personal side and you don't have as much blank space on your pocket, maybe that means that the most efficient use of space for you will be on the pocket end. Whereas on the flip side, maybe you reach the end of the day and you have a bunch of notes on your personal one and you had to use extra pages in the pocket. That could be a sign that the pocket is going to be too small for you and that you should opt for the personal one instead. That is going to be it for me today, guys. Thank you so incredibly much for watching. I honestly can't tell you guys how grateful I am that you're here. I say it every time and I mean it every time. I really hope that this gave you a little bit of insight and helped you decide which size of a planner might work best for you. Let me know down below in the comments which size you use, and definitely leave any advice for others. That way we can kind of figure this all out together. And if you love planning, definitely don't forget to subscribe. I post 2 videos videos every single week. One that's a little bit more lifestyle focused, maybe something about my recent home decor finds or some vlogs. And then another one like this that is going to be more planner focused. This is honestly one of my biggest passions, and so I'm so excited to get to just continue sharing it with you. Thank you guys again so much for being here, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye guys.